This short tutorial will show you how to build an AI pipeline that scrapes social media data for stock-related posts and characterizes their sentiment based on the latest Gemini Flash models. Although the focus here is on stock sentiment, you could alternatively use this pipeline to monitor non-financial outcomes, such as brand sentiment or even political sentiment. We will pull social media posts from Bluesky, which is a fast-growing alternative to Twitter or X, and use Google's Gemini 1.5 Flash model to create sentiment scores. But you could also swap in the latest Gemini 2.0 model. There are a few quick and easy prerequisites for this pipeline. First, you need to make a free Bluesky account at bsky.app. Second, you need to go to the Google AI Studio website at aistudio.google.com and click Gemini API on the top right of the screen. This will take you to the Gemini Developer API documentation site. Click Get a Gemini API key, and this will prompt you to log in using a Google account. You'll next reach this page that says Build with Gemini, and you'll want to click the Get API key and then Create API key on the next page. At this point, you can copy and save your API key someplace safe. You can get started for free with the Gemini API free plan, but there are limits on how many API calls you can send at a time. Alternatively, you can connect a Google Cloud Billing account to Google AI Studio. Processing a million tokens is the equivalent to 7.5 cents for inputs and 30 cents for outputs. This tutorial will use a fraction of a million tokens, meaning that the total cost should be at most a few cents, if even. With that said, I'd still suggest placing a $5 to $10 budget on your Google billing account so that you are notified with alerts as you reach your budget. With all of your accounts set up, you can now open up your command prompt or terminal and install the requests, pandas, Google Generative AI, typing extensions, and Plotly libraries into your Python environment. And we can now get started with the actual coding by opening up a Jupyter Notebook in a code editor and importing the libraries we just installed, as well as the built-in enum and JSON libraries. We'll begin with inputting Bluesky credentials and the Google AI Studio API key. Since this is sensitive data, make sure not to upload this file on a code sharing website. And if you're creating a dashboard app with this code, make sure to put it into a config or secrets file. Next, we'll set the Gemini model to Gemini 1.5 Flash, using the generative model function from the Gen AI library. We could alternatively set this to other Gemini family models, including 2.0 experimental. We then set the stock ticker to the company we want to analyze and choose the number of latest Bluesky posts to scrape. Here, I've set it to 100, but you should choose somewhere between 5 to 20 as you're working through this code so you don't spend too much money getting everything to run correctly. It's important to note that there are limits on the number of posts you can retrieve in a single API call. To build a longer time series dataset, you'll need to make multiple API calls, fetching data for each specific day or time period, and handling pagination to navigate through the results effectively. I've linked to the specific Bluesky documentation in the video description below to help you get started. With all of our credentials and configurations set up, we'll authenticate, pull, and process the Bluesky data. This code might seem challenging if you haven't worked with APIs before, but it adheres to standard conventions for interacting with them using the Python request library. First, we handle authentication. We send a post request to Bluesky's create session endpoint with our credentials. If the request is successful, we extract an access JWT token from the response. This token will be used to authenticate all subsequent API calls. This is followed by setting up the request headers, where the access token is included as a bearer token under the authorization header. We define the search parameters for querying posts. These include the search term, sorting order, latest in this case, and the maximum number of results to fetch. With these parameters, we send a GET request to the search posts endpoint. The response is parsed to extract the list of posts. For each post, we retrieve the author's handle, the post content, and the creation timestamp. If any of these fields are missing, we provide default values like unknown or no content. These details are stored in a list of dictionaries, creating a structured dataset. Finally, we use pandas to convert this list into a data frame. The data frame allows us to work with the data more effectively, and we ensure that the date column is converted into a proper date-time format for easier handling of time-based information. When printed, the data frame provides a clean tabular view of the posts, complete with their authors, content, and timestamps. This makes the data ready for analysis, visualization, or integration into other workflows. We can now set up the structured outputs and prompting instructions for the Gemini model to analyze the sentiment of each Bluesky post. Sentiment is an enumeration, a collection of predefined constant values, either positive, negative, or neutral, ensuring standardized sentiment labels from the LLM model. Analysis result is a typed dictionary defining the structure of the output, with keys is stock related, a Boolean, and sentiment, a sentiment value. Or in other words, these are the predefined structures and rules that ensure the model's output is both consistent and easily parsed, which will allow us to programmatically evaluate whether a post is stock related and classify its sentiment in a standardized format. Let's now break down the analyze post function, which will take each Bluesky post and analyze the two output values that we've just created. The function starts by accepting the content, or text of the post, as an input. Notice the arrow sign pointed towards analysis result at the end of the function definition. This is a type hint, specifying that the function will return data in the analysis result format, which we just defined above. We then construct a prompt with an F string to include the stock ticker symbol in the prompt. Here I've asked it to determine whether the Bluesky post is not just about the company, but something about the company that could arguably relate to stock performance. And if related, to classify the sentiment as positive, negative, or neutral. The F string also allows for the content of the post to be included in the prompt itself. The model generate content call, which we'll save into an object called response, is where the AI model processes the prompt. Along with the prompt, we provide a generation configuration to control the response format. The response MIME type is set to application/JSON, instructing the model to return a structured JSON response. The response schema is set to analysis result, ensuring the output adheres to the expected structure. In the following section, the function processes the model's response with clear and structured error handling. The if statement checks whether the model returned any candidates in its response. If candidates are available, the function compiles the first candidate's content, here specified by the 0 index, into a single string for processing. The try block then attempts to parse this string as JSON. If the parsing is successful, it extracts the isStock-related and sentiment keys. If both keys are present, their values are returned. Otherwise, it logs an error and returns none. The except block handles cases where JSON parsing fails. If an error occurs, it logs the issue and returns none, ensuring the program doesn't crash. Finally, the else block is triggered if no candidates are returned by the model. It logs this scenario and returns none, allowing the program to continue safely. Overall, the structure ensures we can process every Bluesky post, even if some outputs are invalid. This final line applies the analyze post function to each post in the content column of the data frame. Using apply with a lambda function, it processes each post individually, converting the output into a pandas series. The results, which are our structured outputs, are then added as new columns into our original data frame. We can now take a look at the results of the analysis and see how both new variables were coded by the LLM model. Since we've completed data extraction and feature creation, we can now move on to deriving insights from the sentiment data. One approach is to create a sentiment score based on the sentiment column values. For example, you could filter out neutral posts and calculate the percentage of positive posts for each day relative to the total. This daily sentiment score could serve as a proxy for market sentiment around the stock. From there, you might backtest the relationship between this sentiment score and the stock's performance using time series machine learning models. This would allow you to evaluate whether sentiment is a meaningful indicator for predicting the stock's movements over time. If you found this video useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Deep Charts channel and the Deep Charts newsletter for more videos on how to leverage the latest AI and machine learning tools.